If you're stuck around 1000 in chess and feel like you're doing everything but still not improving, this video is for you. Going from 1000 to 1300 isn't easy, and it's not about memorizing openings, traps, or playing faster. So let's get into it. Alright, so mistake number one is not knowing your opening. In here, we got e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, and so on. And after bishop to b5, we have bishop to c5. And black captures the pawn on e5. And yeah, so this pawn was guarded by the knight, and we know that usually in the 4 knights game, this is protected, and taking here is a mistake because it's a free knight, and this will lead to an advantage of black having more material. Now obviously this is just probably a coincidence, one of the worst moves you could possibly do, and also miscalculating this would be kind of a very bad miscalculation because it leads to already losing in your beginning of the game. And not only this, black also took on f2, which is hilarious because it's also protected by the king. I'm not sure what black was trying to do here, but yeah, taking the knight on e5, so the materials is equal, however the position varies. And if I turn on the engine, let me see, analysis, yeah, after turning on the engine we can see that white's actually winning here because of this move right here, pawn to d4, and this just kicks out the knight, and then you have two pawns in the center which white can control the whole game by putting the rook here, maybe castling. This is now manual castling, and continuing the game with a better position overall. What should have happened was, well, after taking, and white did find this move, black played knight takes pawn, which is also a block. Now there's a lot of miscalculations here, as you can see in this game, which after knight here, well, this is what black thought would happen after queen to h4, but instead I can just play here, and black cannot really do much in this position as the squares are protected, the knight is protected, and everything else is protected. Maybe, well, the engine suggests to play knight here, knight to what do you call it, g3, and that's very reasonable as this square is protected by the bishop. So if the queen comes here, try to give a check, it's impossible, and yeah, the bishop just takes that queen, and that's a loss of material, and the tactic is failed. Others who are wondering about this one, it's protected by the queen as well. Let's go to mistake number two. Mistake number two, well, it's very similar to mistake number one. Players usually don't really think, or they don't take as much time to think than others. So in this position, instead of putting your knight here, which seems a little logical, right, you could have instead developed your bishop as black. And the reason being is because the knight is protected. Players in these levels usually forget what their other pieces are guarding and blunder their pieces that way. So as you can see, they play knight to d4, which blunders their pawn, and after that similarly like that, and white just dominates the whole game after this. And one simple mistake can just lead to a whole, a whole game being gone. But don't forget that um, in these levels, sometimes the opponent might have studied their openings pretty well and can also dominate with simple tricks and can win you by a single pawn as well. Lastly, we look at checks, captures, and attacks. Now, the reason checks, captures, and attacks is a very important thing to check in this kind of level is because, as previously we showed how the knight blundered the pawn, uh, checks, captures, and attacks also help you to find moves that are very helpful to either, go into a better position, win material, or deliver checkmate as well. So, in this position, we can see that white moved their a pawn to attack the queen. Now, we can see that the queen can take the knight here, and this is a free knight for us. Why is it a free knight? Because our pawn is also attacking the knight as well. This is a very simple puzzle that you can find on chess.com, and as you can see, after bishop also takes, we have to take back. You can find these kinds of puzzles as well on my page on Instagram, YouTube Shorts, and TikTok. I'll put the link in the description for you guys to check it out. And yeah, the more puzzles you do, the more you have awareness in your game. So when you do a lot of puzzles, you're going to be able to find these kinds of moves very quickly. You really need to wait and think about it. Majority of people struggle with this as it takes time to get used to finding moves very quickly. But after you get, past 1300 or 1400, you will have these kinds of moves kind of like in a 10-second or 2-second um, time limit, and then you're gonna be able to do them instantly after that. Anyhow, this is the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoy. Click the like button and subscribe, and I'll see you to the next one.